All over the world, our ancient ancestors left behind this incredible mystery, just written in stone, these massive, silent monuments that have stood for thousands and thousands of years. So today, we're going to decode what these structures actually are and what they tell us about the dawn of human civilization. Okay, so think about this. You've got a single standing stone, a giant stone table, and an epic circle of rocks. They're separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years. So, what's the connection? What on earth drove ancient people all across the globe to haul these impossibly heavy stones into these very specific shapes? Well, the answer is that they're all a type of structure we call a megalith. And listen, these weren't just random piles of rocks. Oh no, they were incredibly sophisticated creations, part temple, part observatory. They were designed for sacred celebrations and, maybe most importantly, to track the sun, the moon, and the stars to predict the changing of the seasons. So let's start with the most fundamental form of megalith, the menhir. Now, it's the simplest, but don't let that fool you for a second. The scale we're talking about here is absolutely mind-boggling. A menhir is pretty much what it sounds like, a single, massive stone, quarried and then somehow erected to stand tall against the sky. Here's an easy way to remember it. Men kind of sounds like mono, which means one. One giant standing stone. Simple, right? But the effort involved? Yeah, that was anything but. To give you an idea of the scale we're dealing with, just look at this number. 350 tons. Okay, that's the weight of about 50 adult elephants. Now, just try to imagine moving that, let alone standing it upright, using only the most basic Neolithic technology. It's wild. And that 350-ton monster? That was the Grand Menhir Brise in France. It once stood 20 meters tall. We're talking like a 6-story building. Today it lies fallen and broken, but it is just this incredible testament to the sheer ambition of these ancient engineers. It's still the largest single stone we know of that was ever put up by prehistoric people. So, our ancestors mastered putting up one colossal stone. What would come next? Well, what happens when you start combining them? You get these unbelievable structures that look kind of like giant tables or doorways, and they're known as dolmens. A dolmen is made of 2 or more upright stones with a massive capstone laid right across the top. The little memory trick here is that a dolmen often looks like a giant stone doorway. Now, when you think of these, you might picture ancient Europe, right? But if you do, you'd be missing the biggest part of the story. Just look at this. This chart completely flips the script on where the heart of megalithic culture might have been. A staggering 40% of all the dolmens on the entire planet are found in one place, Korea. That's right. An estimated 40,000 of these structures, known locally as Goindol, are concentrated on the Korean peninsula. It's the highest density of dolmens you'll find anywhere in the world. But it's not just the sheer number that's so fascinating, it's the tiny details carved right into them. You see, many of these Korean Gondal have these strange cup marks, these little holes, drilled right into their capstones. For the longest time, everyone just assumed they were decorations. But what if they were something far more advanced? So here's this incredible theory that's gaining ground. These aren't just random dots. Scholars now believe they could be ancient astronomical charts. The different sizes and positions of the holes might actually be mapping out constellations. And get this, we're talking about charts from as early as 3000 BC. To put that in perspective for you, just look at this timeline. The famous Babylonian star charts, which we often think of as the beginning of astronomy, they date to around 1200 BC. These potential Goindal star charts are 1,800 years older. This could literally be one of humanity's very first attempts to map the heavens. So, from a single stone to a stone table, we now arrive at the most complex and, let's be honest, the most iconic form of megalith, the Great Stone Circles, or Cromlechs. A cromlech is a circular arrangement of standing stones. You can remember this one because crom kind of sounds like circle. And of course, the most famous example on the entire planet, the one everyone knows, is Stonehenge. But Stonehenge isn't just one simple circle. It's a series of really intricate interlocking structures. You've got the massive outer ring of sarsen stones, some of them weighing 25 tons, an inner ring of smaller blue stones that were brought from hundreds of miles away, and a central horseshoe of these gigantic 3-stone arrangements called trilithons. The sheer logistics are just staggering. And the builders didn't just stack these stones, they shaped them. They actually used advanced woodworking joints like mortise and tenon and tongue and groove, but they applied them to stone to lock the entire structure together. I mean, this is incredibly sophisticated engineering for the time. So why? Why go to all this trouble? The secret, it turns out, is in its alignment. On the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, the sun rises perfectly over a keystone. And on the shortest day, the winter solstice, it sets in perfect alignment with another part of the structure. It's a massive, unbelievably accurate stone calendar. So, you see, across all these different forms, one stone, a table of stones, or a circle of stones, a single powerful message starts to emerge. These monuments are humanity's first great messages, a story of belief, of science, and of community, all written in stone. And this impulse took other forms too. A tumulus, for instance, is a great earthen mound built over a grave. And sometimes, what's hiding inside is just as spectacular. A perfect example is the famous Newgrange tomb in Ireland. Newgrange was built around 3200 BC. Now, let that sink in. That makes it older than Stonehenge and even older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. And just like Stonehenge, it holds a celestial secret. For just a few minutes on the winter solstice, and only on that day, a narrow beam of sunlight shoots down this long, dark passage and perfectly illuminates the central chamber. Which brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? Menhirs, dolmens, cromlechs, tumuli, they are all part of this incredible global effort to connect with the sacred and to understand the cosmos. They are monuments built to track the great cycles of the universe, and really to find our place within them. Ultimately, these stones are the first chapter in our story. They represent our earliest, most ambitious attempts to comprehend our universe and leave a message for those who came after. And that leaves us with a question: what legacy, what story are we writing for the future to find?